And yeah, that's what Nagash is doing for reference. It doesn't matter much at this point.
And he's a skeleton.
He's
got no like tendons or flesh, so he can distend his jaw all the way and just be like.
He's got an innate advantage. He's already a skeleton.
He has no gag reflex. He's absolutely
he doesn't. Thank you for specifying that.
Just before people thought the quality of Lorecrimes had improved, I wanted to bring the level down a little bit.
The serious podcast.
Nagash take down the entire hog.
Okay.
Slayer Barden on screen also. I need to mention that. Hell yeah, brother. Grimnir's strongest thrower.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is Lorecrimes. Hello.
Oh, we're in the mortal realms this week, aren't we, guys? I do sound echoey, people. Apologies. I'm in a new spot. Officially a new spot. But today, we're just going to go straight into it, honestly, because people have been begging for this particular topic. There's one particular person, I don't remember his name, but has been actually gagging. That's
pretty
the way to say it.
Every video of recent months has been AOS when. It's like, we know, we'll get around to it. So we did.
We're here.
Yeah, we thought we'd venture into the mortal realms again. Unfortunately, there'll be no end times discussion, I don't think, on this one, though, because it's straight up into the good old age of Sigmar, which, has been the model team cooks. Chef's kiss, they cook. So let's give their lore a bit of love. I think, does anyone have any... How much are you familiar, Eli, with either Sigmarines, as people have often named them?
Not very. They're there. I don't really touch AOS.
Whack.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll change a few people's mind. Do check out Spearhead if anyone hasn't given that a go on tabletop. But So go on.
Gotrik's in it. Nothing Gotrik's in can be completely bad.
Sigvald's in it. That's the only reason I've paid attention.
He's in it too.
And I have some Hedonites, to be fair.
The only reference I have is I watched all of Black Talon on Warhammer TV, and I was like, "This is very mid." Cool, nice.
Of course, it was mid. It was an official Games Workshop animation.
Hey, they sometimes can. No, never mind.
I enjoyed Angels of Death. It was fine.
It's a crazy message we just got from Tigros, by the way. But we'll get to that in due time.
Yes, but today we're going to go again, venturing into the mortal realms. The end times is over. We don't have to talk about end times anymore. But Colin's going to help guide us through what is the actual, I guess, technically, well, we'll end up there. The Age of Sigmar and Stormcast Eternals. Indeed. Colin, you want to take it away?
Sure thing. So for the Stormcast,
before we start, ignore. I don't know what gameplay we got up, but if it's Vermintide, ignore my terrible gameplay.
If it's Vermintide, it's probably from my point of view. In which case, blame everyone else for my skill issue. It's never my fault. It is always them.
I think I did it earlier today. Oh man, I felt rusty. The game system feels so old now.
Does it?
Like really old. Like because when you're used to playing Darktide, you have like armor or other things. There's no sprinting, no nothing. No, it just feels bad.
I don't want to get too sidetracked, but Darktide sprinting feels like Halo Infinite sprinting, where it's there to nullify the people who want sprinting, but it's like barely any faster. I don't know.
I'm not playing Vermintide again. I'm not doing it. Okay,
I'll do it, but we'll get to that when we get to that. That's a different conversation. Sigmar. So to start with the Stormcast, we got to start with even before AOS was properly around. So we cut to Sigmar floating in infinite nothingness after his fantasy got blown up. Hell yeah, coffee. But basically thinking, man, that whole end times thing kind of blew, didn't it? And eventually the mortal realms start coalescing. There's that Dracothian big dragon that helps form them. The winds of magic form them as well. And Sigmar's, he's back on form a bit. He's still a god, still powerful, even though he lost. He's ready. He's ready to try again. Fresh start and all that. So he starts gathering his pantheon, which is a lot of the old figures from fantasy uplifted to godhood, except for Gork and Mork, who just fused into one being, and now they've got Gorka Morka. And for the longest time, doesn't change too much, right? It's like same shit, different day. We've got fair enough. In fantasy, normal people held the line for like 10,000 years before the world blew up, so that's pretty respectable. You figure, well, same thing. Give it a chance. Let's work with it again. There were no Stormcast for most of what is Age of Sigmar's history, technically, given how unknown but how long the setting was before the part everyone cares about, right?
Does it say specifically in Age of Sigmar when the first humans are like, I don't know if they are discovered or like they take them from the souls of like the end of the world essentially, and they kind of just let them do their own thing.
They can do that, but it's also been mentioned, like, for example, it's with the elves where it's like Teclis and all the other new elf gods were wandering around like, why are there very few elves? And then they found out like a lot of them were still around just in Slaanesh. So there were some people kicking about. They did eventually kind of coalesce back into humanity, but there are also some old souls they can bring back. Little bit of both is the answer, basically. And for a while, again, just like in fantasy or 40k guard, normal people are holding the line pretty good. The beastmen show up because there's beastmen, and they beat those well enough. Although I'm going to be honest, saying you beat the beastmen doesn't really mean anything. You beat the beastmen. You aren't despised by GW, is what that means. Some Skaven invade, and even before, again, there's no Stormcast, but Sigmar, normal people, and the rest of the Pantheon destroy an entire great clan of them. Again, it's like old fantasy. There's some threats, but they're doing quite well. All the various non-chaotic threat of the mortal realms, things are going fine. Then chaos starts creeping in, and again, victories start mounting for chaos. And again, Sigmar is still at this point leading the charge himself, and below him are just mortal men, just normal, men and women, spear in hand, some gunpowder, hold the line.
Should we say, like, is this at the point in which it's the age of myth, which which is like supposedly thousands and thousands and thousands of years? No one really knows how long it is, or it's not defined at all.
It's not defined. It's like how we know the dark age of technology exists in 40k. Yeah, that's about it. Sometimes we find cool toys from it. That's kind of what the Age of Myth is in Age of Sigmar as an equivalent. Great time. Sometimes we find cool stuff from it. You're not going to get much info.
And then Age of Myth ends when chaos basically, knocks on the door.
Chaos starts barging in, and of course that is the Age of Chaos, which I believe officially begins. It's called the Battle of the Burning Skies. Give it a good name, if nothing else. This is the last big hurrah of Sigmar's pantheon, which at this point is just him and Nagash, basically. As Sigmar takes to the field, leading his normal men and women, doing the best they can. Nagash backstabs him because, yes,
such is the
power of Nagash. Sigmar goes to beat up Nagash, realizes, oh hey, there's still a fight going on, and goes back to the Battle of Burning Skies, loses Galmaraz, and is just like, well, I'm out. Have fun, everyone else. So he goes back to his realm of Azir, the Wind of the Heavens magic, and just shuts the gates. You can't get in or out. No one is allowed. No one's leaving. No one's going in. And he basically just says, good luck, everyone else. I'm going to go work on something. Which, incidentally, for those of you not too aware, Age of Sigmar is technically a post-apocalyptic setting. Because for however long the Age of Chaos went, they just kind of ran rampant across reality. If you weren't Malekith, you lost.
Yeah, baby.
He's the only one who got like a 1v1 win against Archaon. And I guess kind of the orcs were having fun. It's the same as with the orcs in the other settings.
All the orcs just like, it's not about the winning, it's the taking part.
Yeah, it's like you lost 90% of your territory. Had fun doing it.
It's the journey, not the destination, said the orcs.
Yeah, so there's various holdouts because AOS has more armies than just the Stormcast, but they were running rampant. But in the meantime, what Sigmar was working on, aside from telling everyone to get the hell off of his lawn and then enforcing that with lightning bolts, was making men and women who are just go above and beyond what normal people can do. They're the best of the best. They're going to be his warriors who know no fear. Sickness shall harm them. Whatever the rest of that quote is from Big E. It's he's making the best of the best and making them even better. So his way of being active for the next few hundred years is he looks out across this 7 of the 8 realms, because his own is just shut off, and he looks for someone suitably heroic, basically. So let's say you and your buddies, chaos is overrunning you. It's last stand time. It's you are Noble 6. Right before you die, because you are otherwise going to die, Sigmar is going to reach down and just kind of grab you.
And this is before Nagash is basically already, because I think, isn't it even despite Nagash, who he is only within one realm, he technically, everyone who dies does go to Shyish, is it?
That has already been happening, which is why, which we'll get into, Nagash off rip hates the Stormcast. Nagash had, by this point, there used to be in the background Age of Myth lore, there was a bunch of gods of the dead, and then Nagash ate them. Because that's just what he does when he has to share his toys.
He's done it before. He's gone to...
Oh, yeah, he did that in the end times too. That was the first thing he did.
My favorite weird explanation for it is is it the realm of Shyish, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
They basically explain Shyish, because realms are infinite. They have almost ant hill. If you have what's that thing, and you can see a little ant hill
creation. Ant farm.
Ant farm, yeah. You basically have different underworlds in Shyish, and Nagash is he starts. The reason Nagash is able to eat the other gods is because they burrow into other
it's
afterlives.
Shyish is a collection of a bunch of different afterlives, and Nagash just starts home invading these different afterlives and taking them over.
He just goes, "Oh, that's a lovely buffet you got there."
Well, at a certain point, that just turns into a snowball going down a hill, right? You eat one death god, now you've got the power of 2 death gods, so you eat this next one easier. And yeah, that's what Nagash is doing for reference. It doesn't matter much at this point.
And he's a skeleton.
He's
got no tendons or flesh, so he can distend his jaw all the way and just be like,
he's got an innate advantage. He's already a skeleton.
He has no gag reflex. He's absolutely
he doesn't. Thank you for specifying that.
Just before people thought the quality of Lorecrimes had improved, I wanted to bring the level down a little bit.
The serious podcast.
Could Nagash take down the entire hog?
Okay.
Slayer Barden on screen also. I need to mention that. Hell yeah, brother. Grimnir's strongest thrower.
This guy was terrible, by the way, in that game.
Oh, of course he is. He's playing Slayer Barden.
He sabotaged and he was running forward just like a maniac.
No, you know what that is? Lore accurate.
That's role-playing, Hal.
He's not as killed, though, twice, I think. Ugh.
I'm sorry that you don't have a death oath. But yeah, Sigmar, during this time, he's looking around, peeking out, looking for people doing heroic deaths. And given that, again, chaos is overrunning 7/8 of all of reality, there's a whole lot of people dying what could qualify as a heroic death, right? It'd be I'm sure if, for comparison, I'm sure it'd be the Emperor scrying across the galaxy during the Horus Heresy, looking at the 5 million different like Imperial army units that are all dying horribly as Horus overruns them on his way to Terra. I'm sure there's a whole lot of last stands going on during that point, and during the Age of Chaos, a whole lot of that going on. So, like I said, you're about to get, whacked by a Chaos Lord. He'll be like, nope, I think you're pretty tough. I think you're cool. So he will grab you, and in a bolt of lightning, you go to Azir, and he will reforge you anew. This can also happen as you're dying. Usually as you just die, though, because if you wait too long, Nagash is going to send you to one of those underworlds. But if it's just happening, which was shown in one of those, I think the animation trailer for 4th edition, you see Sigmar can take you from Nagash if you just quick enough with it as you die.
We should mention
to
briefly mention for this part, if you're thinking, what the hell has Sigmar been doing for like probably a few hundred years? He was not alone.
No.
Because, do you want to talk about that, Colin? He's not, technically it's not his own work. It's like his idea, but...
Yeah, it's his idea. He had some help as well from the dwarf god Grungni, who also made it to Age of Sigmar and was probably doing, if not the brunt of the work, then I've no doubt Grungni had like a majority stake in like designing the process, because I think
Grungni makes because the whole point, like Grungni was not with basically the Dwarden, like he kind of left them on their own in the Age of Chaos to be like, the strong will come out strong, and then later on he's like, I fucked up. It was too strong. It was too hard.
Maybe that was a bit mean.
Are you suggesting that that Sigmar was the Steve Jobs of the operation? Was just like, I don't know how to build an iPhone. I'm just going to go on stage and tell you how great they are. I was like, thanks, Steve. Why are you here?
Not quite that level of stealing the work. Sigmar, he does personally reforge people. Like he does get in in the shops themselves and go to work.
He's got that secret sauce. He's like,
But he was heavily held by Grungni.
Yeah, because Grungni makes the actual thing that makes it happen, though, which is the anvil of apotheosis, I think.
Yeah, and then
the actual device. And
but Sigmar is in there hammering away at it. Oh, what?
What the hell was that? Someone scared the crap out of me there.
Did my audio jump or something?
I saw someone yell. That was crazy.
Eli, Andy?
Oh, nope, I didn't hear nothing.
I didn't hear anything.
All right.
I'm talking about Dota 2 in chat right now, man.
Guys hearing demons in the stream, apparently. I'm like, what's going on?
It's the voice of Sigmar, Hal. Listen to it.
I know. No, but I love that Grungni was like, yeah, I'm not with my Dwarden.
No,
time. I'm going to be in Azir with the humans and just helping out.
Grungni is the only member of the Pantheon who stuck with Sigmar, and he did not stick with the dwarfs. Grimnir, for his part, exploded. If you're wondering what happened to the other dwarf god, he committed Majin Vegeta.
Wow.
But so that's what Sigmar does this for basically hundreds and hundreds of years. Again, there's no solid the Age of Chaos lasted exactly this long. I have in my head 500 years, but it's never, I don't believe, explicitly it's this long.
Everyone was too busy to write down this year this happened and this date. It's like, I'm fighting for my life. There's a demon eating my mum. No, this is bad.
It's like no one's keeping calendars in The Walking Dead because there are infinitely more pressing concerns to worry about than what day is it.
Yeah, the cool part though is that Grungni, even though he helps Sigmar do this, he makes demigods, doesn't he? He makes 6 demigods that can I forgot what they are called specifically, but they're the ones who are the operators of the forge, and they can never leave. They're only allowed in the anvil of apotheosis, and I think they're all called the One or something in their own language. They're quite strange, and they basically whatever the equivalent of other versions of demigods they have for different gods. Grungni made 6 of these, and they all basically always help Sigmar, and they kind of they're the ones who are like the actual, I guess, smiths that do the process, but they require Sigmar's power to make it work.
Sigmar's giving them some divine juice to, make his soldiers. And this just basically goes on. Sigmar is in a bit of a holding pattern because he's like, we kind of lost horribly. We need some more juice. I can see the second end times on the horizon, and I think I need something. Mortal people are just not cutting it on their own. I clearly need more. So hundreds and hundreds of years, he's just, again, grab someone, reforge their soul, and turn them into his Stormcast Eternals. And he probably would have kept doing this, but at a certain point, he gazed out across the world, the worlds, and was like, reality's kind of starting to buckle. Like, I can see it breaking at the seams. And he's basically was like, if I don't do it now, there might not be a world left to save.
I think he does even in his own works. I read a book recently. Sigmar actually speaks, and he says in his own words he would have perfected the process.
Yeah.
Except the realms were going to fall, so he had to.
He was edging the apocalypse. That's all it was.
Yeah, the process isn't totally perfect, but there is no time left. Although there was also a little bit of, again, just like some nice opportunism, because in the meantime, chaos does as chaos does, and when it wins, it just fights itself. So Khorne declared war on everyone else and just kind of started beating the snot out of everyone. So Sigmar saw that reality couldn't really handle chaos anymore. Was like, well, now's the time. So he threw open the gates of Azir, and the Stormcast marched forth. And for the first time, and again, I have 500 years in my head. There is no, I don't believe, like exact timeline between the Age of Chaos and the Age of Sigmar beginning. But Sigmar threw open the gates, and in lightning storms, the Stormcast struck out.
Should we, I say, before we get any further, though, should we do the first round of donations just to?
Yes,
that's a really good point. Just to
get
to start with. We got Donkey Man USA for $5 reduce. Stream late because Hal is Balthazaring on that gelt till he supremes. Oh, I love that.
Thank you, brothers. Thank you, Donkey Man.
But I love that animation where it's just like, I am supreme, and then it's just like, more of metal, and he shoots a guy with a machine gun. It's my favorite thing.
Imperial science is the finest in the world.
Tybros, the colorblind wake, thank you for the $2. Y'all proto-human enough to listen to Nightcore for real.
I know what I'm
Unbelievable statement, man. Unbelievable.
Woof.
It's not chipmunks, it's Nightcore, and they put an anime girl in the thumbnail.
This is for you, Colin, specific I can see.
Hey guys, Nomius Chomsky, thank you for the 10 euros. I love that name.
That is a great name, man.
Hey guys, hope everyone is doing well. Can't stay for much longer. Currently enjoying my well-deserved holidays in Greece. Enjoy your holidays.
Nice, man.
Enjoy.
I wish you all a great rest of the day. Happy birthday, Colin.
Happy birthday.
I mean, it's been going on for so long. We're getting now closer to my birthday than farther away from it.
Colin is now, according to the chat, 275 years old. So, yeah.
Bunny
Crazy.
Survivor. Colin the Bone Man comment. I looked at my notifications like on YouTube, like 5 in a row on 5 different videos. People all just said the Bone Man comment.
It's Arthur, right? Here's the thing. Arthur Bones just did a video on Archaon/Abaddon, and so he was like, "I'm going to pick a fight with Colin." Comment the Bone Man cometh in his chat because of reasons. I can't remember why.
I didn't have time. I didn't have time to watch his video, so.
Oh well. The beef died here.
Colin's husband, oiled up and bouncing freaky style.
Oh, that's a text PFE. Never mind. Carry on.
AOS the goat. Raw. Man, these names are getting more creative.
Donkey Man again. Out of the 5. I convinced my sister to do Art of the Great Horned Omnissiah. Drunk Donk can do anything, apparently.
Wow.
He's
alcohol.
Share one
drug.
Yeah, share when she's done. Shiloh Young with the $5. First time watching live. Love listening to y'all while painting. That's my Sigmar male Grindset.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Thank you very much.
People let us
that's hey me. How you doing?
I'm gonna say, if people are listening along, let us know what you're painting in the comments. We'd love to know. Nylock for 2 Canadian. Colin's beautiful beard. Bet it got snacks in there.
No, I make sure to clean those. Look, it's a beard. Sometimes food gets stuck, but I'm not an animal.
Got bean for $2. Start digging in your progenoids, twin. Thank you, Bean. Thank you for that.
Appreciate that.
Oh God. Pancreas's silliest clown for 5. The Amber King be doing deadlifts for the dark gods on my Remembrancer till my pancreas no work.
Yeah,
true.
That kind of goes hard though. I'll be honest.
He's back.
Oh my gosh.
Colin's husband oiled up and bouncing freaky style at the $5 again. Yes, the faction I want to buy every time I listen to Glory Hammer. Huge Glory Hammer.
Nice mention.
Also, first edition into modern Stormcast have the biggest glow up in history. I like the fat cast. I'm sorry. I miss them being all the size of Terminators.
I think their new color scheme suits them better though.
No, they look the quality's definitely improved. I just miss them being chunky.
It's like Pikachu. Chunky Pikachu is better than modern Pikachu.
I like him when he's got a little bit of heft.
Delta Crafter for 100 ARS. Sorry, they're not familiar.
100 Rs. Wow.
100 Rs. Me when she rages on my Sigmar until I Stormcast Eternal brackets such as the power of Nagash. P.S. Love the podcast and thank you so much for the good lore videos. Cheers, man.
Thank you very much. Anthony Cheese PFP.
£4.99.
Thank you.
I love cheese. Hey, Big E, show your homework and made it better, Sigmar.
You guys say Begmar?
Look, sometimes the 2 words at the end of the sentence turn into 1 word, all right?
Oh, this is crazy hilarious.
JP,
JP, thank you. Thank you for the $10 Australian. You knew Ynnari lore when there's only so much lore on Rule 34. That's probably all the lore you're going to get.
Yeah, I'm afraid Yvrain Rule 34 is the end of the Ynnari's lore.
Ynnari is dead, man. The dream is dead.
You know, that reminds me of, I was watching a retrospective on Burial at Sea, the DLC for BioShock Infinite, and it's like, DLC's trash, but it spawned a whole new, like, genre of Elizabeth art, and it's like, oh no! No!
Although I heard that Prince Uriel might be in the end of edition plotline. I think that was just some random comment that I read, but you never know.
If Valorant said it, we don't know. It could be true.
Prince Uriel is really cool. So
what the hell is going on in Vermintide? Overload? What the? You know what? I'm getting lost.
Ryan
How gameplay? Don't ask questions. You'll never understand.
I thought I was glad Colin got me to read Godric and Felix. I read Kinslayer recently. May you forever have the pancreas you deserve.
Look, again, I've said it many times. That book hurt. JP with the $5 Australian. This is for you, Eli. I'm gonna let you read that.
For Eli, when the Ynnari defeat Femboy, Demon Fulgrim, and get the last Crone Sword, will you be happy or sad? They'll find a way to make both of them lose. That's what I think. So Fulgrim can't win. Demon Fulgrim does not get to win, and the Ynnari also don't get to win. So there will be no inevitable victory. There will be no good Fulgrim demon moments.
Dude, I can give you the two paths this takes. One is that that just never happens. That fight never happens. And 2 is that Khorne gets it.
True.
Starbrand's
gonna show up.
Or you get Azrael Vecht involved, and he's the one who gets the Crone Sword. And he's like, no. It's like, hey, you could save our entire species. It's like, no, I'm just a dick.
But it looks quite nice over my fireplace.
Exactly.
If that did happen, I'd be happy because there's nothing to expect but pure defeat from Demon Primarchs.
I don't think I can even read that type. Like what?
I got it. Borborgimus Rumble Snort.
Nice.
But Colin, who is mowing all the lawns in Walking Dead? The same people who are leaving Starbucks cups in Game of Thrones sets.
Also, public service announcement: do not watch all 13 seasons of Walking Dead. It is not worth it.
No.
Also, Harold Nixon's series is now on season 3. When did that happen?
Wait, what is
I had no idea. Daryl Dixon's spin-off show. He has his own show.
Oh my!
It's called like Walking Dead. Daryl
Yeah, they're
Dixon.
in France and they're introducing new zombie types
And
because
Stephen Merchant is the last living Brit apparently, and he's on the show. I'm like, this is so silly.
the last we're
The last apparently.
He's our last one. That's crazy.
Thanks.
Wow.
Main event Virgil for €5. Don't know why I'm asking people with all the artistic talent Toadstool, but what color should I paint my Croxagore to go with my blue Saurus?
well, first of
I hate
all,
Saurus.
well,
I hate them.
out of the three things I have to say, first of all, learn how to write if you're going to start throwing shade.
Hey, it may not be his first language, to be fair.
That's fair.
To be fair, with blues, just maybe do like either go like turquoise or
Hello.
purples.
Lelo.
That's like an offshoot.
I like the white Croxagore, the
It's like
albino crocodile.
Yeah, white's
is a good
good,
shout.
but then you do have to paint white, so good luck.
True.
Blue green, a nice turquoise. That ain't a bad move. And third of all, as much as I hate to inflate Hal's ego on this more, he does paint well.
True.
So one of us knows how to paint.
True. He does.
I paint okay. I think my Gotrek is good.
Yep.
You have no idea how hard it was to not reach for a model just then.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
My entire World Eater army is laid out. And
Eli, I believe this one is another one for you.
JP, thank you again.
Mhm.
$5. Wanted to do a special shout out to Eli. Inspired me to get back to peak physical fitness. Got back to my 225 kilogram deadlift. Pretty happy about
Damn.
that. That's
Nice.
awesome.
I wish-
Wow, that's like 500 pounds.
I need to go
Holy
back
cow,
to
man.
the gym, but there's
That's
nothing
epic.
more demoralizing than going to the gym and being there for 3 hours and getting maybe 30 minutes of workout in because the person you're lifting with just leaves and starts
Wow.
talking to other people. Like,
Okay,
where's
So we
my spotter?
Got go.
we got one from the Dank Apostle. I haven't seen you in a while. For 14 Zar.
see it, man.
Hi guys. Will we get a video on Malice Darkblade?
I still need to
Okay.
read this book.
Yeah, when I read that omnibus, I will totally do it. Something on that.
Really was
Omnibus. Ooh,
Look,
harsh.
Colin's husband oiled up and bouncing freaky style is back
Thank you.
for the $2. Thank you. Happy birthday, by the way, Colin.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. The Dank Apostle
Happy
again
birthday.
for the 14 Czar. Opinions on the new Nightbringer. He
You
cool. I got the OG one right here. He's not built though. He'll get there.
Oh,
But I think he's very cool.
No, I'll give them credit. They didn't sanguinary guard the model.
Once again, Necrons just keep winning. Necrons just get good
Here's-
models
I
every
mean,
edition.
look,
question.
Look,
Sorry.
oh, I was just saying, Necrons and the War in Heaven in the modeling side of things, at least, is still
For real.
going strong.
For real. Necrons never lose. We get
Don't
good
look-
books,
don't-
good
don't-
models.
Don't look at the lore, though.
Yeah,
One
Eldar
question.
is-
The Silent King will
I-
return to do basically nothing.
One question I have: what about Lady Malice? Like new Drakari model, like that Lady Malice finally got a model, but she looks
She's
a bit
there.
too young to be honest.
She does look young, but I don't know. She did shove a god's heart in place of her own. I'm sure that's helping.
Yeah,
I kind of I saw like the two new models and I felt nothing. Not gonna lie. I'd rather I'm waiting for them to bring back the half of their model range that they obliterated. So we'll see.
Look, it's a step in the right direction. It's a Dark Eldar named character. Look,
Yeah.
we'll
see if they do anything else. That's the only thing I'm worried about.
It also does look like Shadowheart from Baldur's Gate. So
yeah,
awooga bark bark.
Cassidy Cheese for £9.99. Thank you, man. It's me, Big Ma. Big Ma from the age of Big Ma.
And then Sigmar saw the Stormcast and he fought and he said, "Think bigly," and then he unleashed all of his army.
Bean with the $5, just destroyed and worshipper of chaos, ATF agent, Sigmar's Divine Lightning, my MG42, when he attempted to destroy a Sigmarite temple. Meth lab.
You're real for that, Bean. You're real for that.
You are Bane's strongest payday heister.
That was very generous tonight. Thank you.
Coming back up his back.
Coming back up. Hello. Thank you. We missed you.
Squigglies.
Incoming
Shekels.
back up with a 30 shekels. How are you guys? I hope for your sake you talk about the best Stormcast. Hamilcar Bear Eater, champion of the gods, including Boing Gob. Otherwise, you'll be sleeping with a rotisserie chicken.
I've literally
sleeping.
I've I've watched and read nothing of Stormcast. I thoroughly enjoyed his animation on Hammer and Bolter. So he's my favorite Age of Sigmar character.
I am actually going to talk about him later. That's the character.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
This is a bad omen. Bad omen.
Well, first of all, I
No.
hope you do better because I read ahead. Oh, good Lord. Draken Schlong, Pancreas has tumor with the
God.
10.
Jesus.
I started reading the Horus Heresy and they found more tumors on my pancreas. Also, Mr. Pancreas, man, when are we trading pancreas?
Oh my gosh.
I wish you the best, dog.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
Bless you. Oh man.
Danger
All
Tickle, 100 SEK.
right.
No squat about AOS. Any recommended reading? Yeah, I will recommend the book I read for this episode, which is the Hamilcar Bear Eater novel, because it's quite fun.
Yeah, it's a good book. And I would
recommend reading a Warhammer fantasy book.
All right. That's mean.
Yeah.
I would also recommend the Gods and Mortals short story collection. There's some nice, fun reading. It's a bunch of different, like, shorter stories, so it's good. And also, the lore of Metal Man himself shows up in it. So if nothing else, you're reading both a fantasy and an Age of Sigmar book. So hey,
nice.
Main event Virgil. I speak perfect English. I just don't proofread.
That's so real. Man.
So in that case, fuck you.
In that case,
he's literally
full
me.
send. Skarsnik's top guy, formerly known as Thanos, for 50. Can we get a 5-hour stream of Hal showing all his models? Just him. Everyone else just watches. Also, something circumcision. I would rather get a circumcision than do that.
Why is circumcision hyphenated?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's one word.
I guess it was cut in the middle, huh?
Very funny. Very funny.
Oh man, thank you guys. We're supposed to say we should.
Last one.
I was it. Last one. Okay.
Yes.
Borgamus Rumble Snort, 199. Boringus not Gim. Oh, so I'm terrible. I literally cannot read this stuff.
Borgimus.
Thank you.
Not Gimus.
Look at this Necron Destroyer chat. You can't even see it.
Hmm.
I'm 20 years old. 30.
So was it where we left off about 15 minutes ago? The actual Age of Sigmar.
The gates of Azir are open,
Yeah.
and it's time to Stormcast all over the place.
It is officially the Age of Sigmar.
Mm-hmm.
So they become known as the Realm Gate Wars. So for a bit of context, all of the different mortal realms are connected by what is known as realm gates. Maybe I shouldn't be giving people shit for speaking properly. But yeah, that's how you get from one realm to another. There are, like, if you're a sufficiently powerful, mage or a god, you can just kind of teleport with magic. But if you aren't, and you're like most people and you just kind of gotta hoof it, you can go through a realm gate. There are a couple, in any given area you can probably find at least one, but there are also a few that connect to multiple realms and various other places. So Sigmar opens all the realm gates in Azir and just sends out the Stormcast. Just like, you need to make an entrance now because we are out of time. And to their credit, they do. As Khorne is busy, Chaos is infighting. Khorne's fighting a 3v1 and winning because GW knows who their favorite god is. Although I guess Nurgle has been kind of taking that spot with all the games and stuff lately. But irrelevant. All of these warriors, they start flowing out and begin, just putting in the work across all of the different mortal realms. They begin reclaiming land from chaos. The first one, I believe, was Akshi, the realm of fire, which is where a lot of the early Stormcast art of Stormcast versus Khornate warriors comes from. They just go head to head with Khorne. Khorne's obviously, of course, he's loving it because what is this if not a whole lot of blood being spilled? The Stormcast are giving them hell. Khorne's fighting, but they're pushing chaos back on all fronts. They go to in Kamon. I also don't. Does anyone know, as an aside, at least Eli or Hal? I know Andy, fantasy's not as much your wheelhouse. The Wind of Metal, Kamon. Has anyone ever figured out how to say that?
How's it spelled?
I don't know.
CHAMON. I just say
like MJ did it.
CH would be like chimera, so come on.
No, I say Kamon, but that's only because it sounds like Hamon from JoJo, which is probably not a valid.
I will use my Harmon. It's really useful in the second season, and third, it's freaking useless because we have stands now. Cool. Thanks, old man.
But in Kamon, they pull out a real W, and they discover and return Galmaraz to Sigmar after it had been tricked away from him by Archaon and Tzeentch.
Shout out to the guy Nylok in the comment section who literally just wrote, F I love goats. Like fuck I love goats. Crazy comment.
That's crazy, man.
Man.
Thank
Although
you.
if we're going to do little comment highlights, I'd like to share this one from Rox. Just I finished stream at work on Monday. Just want to let you boys know that you're amazing Warhammer channels. Each of your channels offers a unique take on the lore of these things. I thought that was really nice.
Very nice.
Thanks,
Thank
Rox.
Right. Hammond was the best age of JoJo, by the way. Those are my favorite seasons.
I like it, but I also there's some wackiness that Stan Spring that I can't hate. I can't hate Fate in Heaven.
Fair. Very fair.
But yeah, the Stormcast are back with they're here with a vengeance, and they're going throughout all the different mortal realms with Galmaraz reclaimed. Sigmar can again not quite perfect the process of the Stormcast, but he can awaken the Celestin Prime, his ace in the hole, who has never been confirmed, but it's absolutely Karl Franz, and I'm not going to hear anything against that. His super is Stormcast, the Primarch of the Stormcast Eternals. He sends him out, and Stormcast, it's nothing but Stormcast wins. Stormcast stocks are at an all-time high. I hope you sell now because in future editions they are at an all-time low. But for now, it's this is their debut. As both in universe and as an army you can buy. They're here swinging. They go out. They in Gyrin, the realm of life. They ally with Alariel. They bring her back to life because she kind of died, but she's a nature goddess. So rebirth, death, all that crap. Alariel's back and ready to throw hands. In Shyish, well, they do start fighting chaos, and then Nagash goes, well, actually, I was going to do that better. And also he starts killing Stormhost too, because of course he does. But it is overall, this is the Stormcast grand appearance, and they begin reclaiming lands in the Age of Sigmar across the mortal realms. Where they go, Sigmar's still got the armies of mortal men, mere men and women going forward. And they start fortifying kind of the Stormcast. It's kind of like it is in a lot of ways like the Space Marine legions of old as well, where Big E sends in the legions, they go break everything on a planet, and then the army comes up, mops up any remaining resistance, fortifies, brings it into compliance, all that. It's like that. The cities of Sigmar, as they are, march behind the storm hosts, giving them some help and fortifying it so the Stormcast can move on to the next big battle. What are you shaking your head at? Am I?
Eli says in the chat, I hate short people.
I was trying to team kill the freaking dwarf in Vermintide.
He wasn't moving. He wasn't accepting
the shotgun blast to the face. Unbelievable.
I got to be honest. The way you phrase that, Colin, with like the support standing behind this gold-clad bunch of giants, like, oh yeah, we're gonna help. Like they can't kill whatever we're fighting. I don't know. Oh yeah, I'll help.
I mean, look, they still got guns, right? I mean, it's Warhammer. If you have a gun, you can still help at least a little bit. It's the same as lasguns, right? One, awful flintlock musket ain't gonna do anything. 20 of them pointed at a bloodthirster. Hey, it'll probably hurt at least a bit. I've seen their stat lines.
I mean, if 100 guardsmen can't take down a bloodthirster with their lasguns, at least you have a fun light show, I guess. But yeah.
I would also like to point out that in 40K, Space Marines were strength 4, and average Imperial Army captain is also strength 4. So just, maybe they can do it because they're just built different over in.
I was gonna say built different.
Sigmar's weakest Imperial captain fighting the Emperor's strongest Ultramarine.
And then a custodian arrives and goes,
and then that.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, goofy. But yeah, the Stormcast, they're getting, they're all out and about. Now, this early on, again, this was the army's introduction. So obviously, the Stormcast moving out across 7 of the 8 realms and wrecking shop. It's like every time GW introduces a new army or character, right? They are the best of the best ever. That's if you haven't noticed that, that's how Warhammer works. See, again, the Tomb King showing up and they burned their way to Norska because Setro lost his hat, or the Tau showing up and being better than everyone else, or the Leagues of Otan. A new army shows up and GW gives them, fluffs them off a bit. It is what it is.
Fluffs them off is crazy.
But the cracks and the cracks are still showing a little bit. Not much. The Celestin Prime does one-shot a demon the size of a continent. So, the cracks aren't showing that much. But there are some problems. One is that Sigmar never quite perfected the reforging process. So usually the first time Sigmar brings you back, you're mostly the same. You are mostly the same, but you'll probably take on a new name. But that's, even Space Marines do that, right? They're not the same person they were before they came out of Marine, right? You're born anew. Some memories are forgotten, even during the first time you're reforged. But you're by and large the same person, just, a little bit more heroic, noble, Sigmar-y, a lot more lightning coming out of you, all that good stuff. Second time, you kind of start losing some memories. It's not great. Again, they when the Stormcast, I guess, I kind of breezed over that though, didn't I? That is another. When the Stormcast die, they bolt back to Azir to be reforged, brought back again. Get back in the fight, buddy. Once you get to that second time, though, it's like you're losing a little bit of yourself. Again, it's not too bad, but it does start adding up.
Interesting. They even say like as we mentioned earlier, the 6 demigod dwarves Dwarden, sorry, that
Tell them what they are.
Yeah, the spirits of Grungni, that they even say with the forge, sometimes you can die and then you're ready to come back out and be reforged in a few months. Some of them it could be centuries. Depending on how much your spirit is wounded, or it's the same way in which if you're smelting, not 100% of the thing is turned into ore each time.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the way it is with their spirit or their souls.
It's like that, but with your physical, your very essence.
Yeah, not sometimes it is better, and it's we got 99% of him, or we got 98, or 90.
Yeah.
And then other time he is 60% him. So it's
it'll depend on who killed you, right? If you're the unlucky Stormcast whose player rolled the 1 on the save and he got shanked by a goblin, you're probably coming back. 99% of you's fine. The other Stormcast are going to make fun of you for the rest of your life because you got shanked by a little goblin. You're going to be fine. Archaon gives you the 1-2 slamorama, and it's like, oh, you're going to be scraping bits of soul off the wall.
I got 2 things. One, it just reminds me of something. I can't remember what the references, but I think it's Red Dwarf, but I'm not sure. But it's just I feel bits of my brain falling away like a wet cake. But it just makes me think there's a dreadnought in 40k called Sobchak, and he's 1,000+ years old, and he's all back in my day, Space Marines were better, and he's at a state where when he's deployed, he doesn't realize where he is. He thinks he's still fighting when he was still an Imperial Fist. So I'm I wonder if you put a Stormcast next to a dreadnought, what the comparative amnesia is of how many times you put him out there, you only lose memory if you die, or you lose memory every time you get put out there. I wonder what the comparison is.
The Stormcasts that have died quite a lot, they don't have confusion necessarily. You just lose. If you lose memories, you lose parts of. You lose parts of who you are, though.
It's the memory. Yeah. It's almost like a side effect of them just losing part of their soul. It's not
far from the mic, Colin.
Oh, sorry. I set it down. I was holding it when I was speaking. My bad.
That's all right.
When I move, I need to invest in a mic stand because they sound nice and good. Hey, Colin, nice wind tunnel you're in.
Yeah, you lose like memories are what make you. So therefore, if you have less of them, you kind of become more like automatons almost. You're just killing machines.
That is after like once you start getting up there in the reforgings, Sigmar fills in the missing bits of soul with like Azurite magic and his own divine power, which gets him back in the fight. They're less of themselves, which will, as we get on, that will eventually become a bit more relevant. We're still early on, though. The Stormcast are, again, they're very powerful. They throw down quite well. Not really any of them have been reforged enough for this to become too prevalent of a problem at this point. That's like, one real unlucky guy keeps getting ganked by goblins. Sucks to be that guy, but, maybe most of them are, kicking ass, taking names. They don't clear all the mortal realms because it's something a lot of people don't know, but even at this point, like most of the mortal realms are held by chaos. Sigmar and them, they're pushing back. They're finally reclaiming lands, and as the rest of the gods kind of wake up, they're claiming land back. But most of the realms are held by chaos. But the Stormcast, alongside any allies they make, the cities of Sigmar, the mortals, they're taking back land. They're doing very good. This is the Realm Gate Wars as they pour out of Realm Gates, refortify them, and these Realm Gates will usually become like cities of Sigmar, different cities, and become bastions of order. They do the what I say, is kind of like the end of their Hail Mary, where it's like just mad rush blitzkrieg across the realms becomes when they siege the 8 points, it's called, or the all points, depending on if you are a chaos shill or not. That's a spot where from there you can get anywhere in the mortal realms. The Stormcast decide, let's go for gold. We've made it this far. Let's push for it. And they storm the 8 points, which is Archaon's personal fortress. Upside of the Stormcast, they do manage to seal off some of the realm gates, particularly the ones to what do you call them? Akshi and Gyron, the realms of fire and life. So hey, we blocked off chaos from those realms. Not completely, obviously. There are a lot of other realm gates, but the easiest access points, we're good. We cleared those out. Chaos has to try a bit harder now. On the downside, it's Archaon's personal fortress. He's not going to let you just come into his shop and just start smashing the place about. So those Stormcasts, they get obliterated. But again, they can respawn. This is, I think, probably the first time in Warhammer where the good guy faction gets their own infinite like little trick hack. So they, from some point of view, it could be a worthy sacrifice. They some of those Stormcast souls don't quite make it back because again, it's Archaon is there personally. But again, this is overall, it's been victory after victory. They've been pushing forward. They made their presence known, and for the first time in hundreds of years, there's hope again. Sigmar's back, and we're ready to fight. And then I'm wondering if it's part of a real world reaction, right? Because the Stormcast came right after the end times, and Age of Sigmar's big introduction from a modeling range was goodbye fantasy, hello Space Marines. So after this, the Stormcast kind of begin their 3 editions long losing streak. Not completely losing. They don't completely obliterate the faction. But this is where we get to the Soul Wars, where Nagash is on brand. So part of the reforging process's problem, aside from it, Sigmar was never able to perfect it, is that every time a Stormcast dies in the field of battle, part of their soul being lost is because Nagash creeps on and is like, give me that. Give me that. You should have been dead like 3 deaths ago. I'm taking your soul. He can't quite perfect it unless Nagash is there in person, because if Nagash is there in person fighting Stormcast, he absolutely can just go yoink. But otherwise, he gets a little bit of it. Not all of it. Not all the soul, but a little bit of it.
He grabs the soul and just kind of goes, Yeah, it's like, oh, no,
Grab
no
his
one can
soul
eat
and
that. That's
twist it.
gross.
Yeah,
Dude, that's gross.
I licked it. It's mine.
The old soul twist.
Yeah. So that happens, and incidentally, that is where Nagash comes in, where he's angry and he's Nagash, so he does not know how to look inwards and seek for flaws or ways to fix things. What he does know how to do is cast magical spells that ruin everything for everyone. So Nagash really would like those Stormcast souls back. So in addition to that, and just wanting to be all-powerful, it is time for him to try and drag all of reality into a black hole. Which...
It's about right. It's his kind of ambition level, isn't it?
I mean, look, again, like, you can't accuse Nagash of doing anything but going for the gold. By God, is he trying. This doesn't work because the scaven still exist, and the purpose of the scaven is to make sure Nagash can never win. But it does do...
Hey. The pyramid was upside down this time.
Yeah, that's true. It was upside down and floating. The Skaven still found a way.
They're still buried into it somehow.
Also, there was like 10 pyramids, but it doesn't matter now. Sigmar, the Stormcast start getting visions of what Nagash is doing, but again, it's not them that stop it. It's the Skaven, because of course it is. But what this does is, from modeling in real world, the Night Haunt are established, the ghosts, and we get the Osiarch Bone Reapers, which are the Nagash's version of the Stormcast. But more pressing for the Stormcast, it reveals a whole lot of ancient weapons and magic and stuff that Sigmar locked away from the Age of Myth that he deemed too dangerous. These things were held in Storm Vaults, they're called, because, as we'll discuss, the Stormcast have the same naming theme as the Space Wolves. Storm, storm, storm. But in these Storm Vaults were just things that Sigmar was like, this is a little bit too dangerous for anyone. We're going to lock this away. It's kind of like a more widespread version of what is it under the Custodian's Guard on Terra? Something vault.
Companions? Oh, the
Vault Wardens? That's
that
might be Lord of the Rings. Vault Keepers,
Black Cells, I think. Yeah, it's like a more widespread version of like the Black Cells. They're like, that's we're gonna put all these different things in boxes and have them locked away. Nagash's little goof unlocked all of those, and Sigmar was like, well, I gotta deal with that. So it's time to open a new chamber. So this is incidentally every time there's a new model release for the Stormcast is Sigmar going, throw more of the things we had in reserve at them. Just throw them out there.
It's essentially Sigmar opening a loot box, and he's like, "What did I get this time? God damn it, just skins!" And then occasionally he's like, "Oh,
exactly it is. I summon Pot of Greed, then summon Pot of Greed.
2 additional Stormcast from my deck." This is known as this is also how they explain in universe the like whenever the Stormcast get like a model like revamp to explain, no, we're not just changing how the models look, so you need to buy more of them. It's happening in universe. Sigmar's updating his armory. Which this in this case,
just imagining Sigmar being like forced to walk to the vaults at gunpoint by a Games Workshop executive, just like, open the vault. He's like, I don't want to open the vault. Can I open them all at once? No, our profit margins.
No, it's good. We need them in reserve. /GW needs to make more money. This is the Sacrosanct chamber, it's called. These are the warrior mages of the Stormcast. They were guarding the anvil apotheosis. That's it's kind of how you make more Stormcast. So that's a good thing to guard. But Sigmar is like, well, thank you, Nagash. Now I can't have them guarding my house anymore. So he throws these guys out, which does kind of solidify some of the uneasy wins. As it's Nagash, so he is never allowed to win. So the Stormcast, they start pushing them back. The Night Haunt get pushed back. A lot of deaths. This is those reforging flaws are becoming a little bit more prominent now, a little bit more problematic. But things are able to be steadied a bit. And because they were the ones guarding the anvil of apotheosis, they do have a few tricks to kind of mitigate the the deaths in battle and help get the souls a little bit more easy. They were the ones who were in charge of guarding it, so they picked up a few things basically. The Teclis and Alariel curb stomp Nagash and blow up his body, send him back home to Shyish. Things are a little bit calmed down. Then Broken Realms happens, where a lot of things go wrong, so Morathi. This lady is the worst. I just feel that needs to be said every time she's discussed. She's just awful. But still would.
Even Slaanesh would vomit her up.
This woman is awful, said Colin. I could fix her.
A red flag is only a problem if your favorite color isn't red. She's a god now, and she decides to celebrate the occasion by laying siege to one of the cities of Sigmar cities known as Anvilgard. So there was some Stormcast station there, because once I kind of go through like the basics of what their lore's been up to, I'll kind of go over what they're kind of about. The Stormcast station there were defending it. They were like, oh, hey, that's a full-blown god now we have to deal with. So they were giving it their all, trying to fight the Daughters of Cain. Eventually, the Celestin Prime shows up himself. Karl Franz is here.
Karl Franz!
But he goes to negotiate with Morathi instead of just beating her over the head. Which, during this, it's still Morathi. No one is happy about this. Because, the defenders are like, well, I don't want to have to follow Morathi. I don't want to have to do that. She's awful. And Morathi was like, oh, so I'm not good enough for Sigmar to come personally, huh? So no one is happy all around. But, the Stormcast Eternals and the Celestin Prime will follow what their god wants, and eventually everyone is all of the Stormcast leave Anvilgard. Anyone else there is allowed to leave as well, and everyone who stays is now Morathi's little puppet. So there's another bit of a setback for the Stormcast. Not as bad as things to come, because it was there was negotiating going on. Still not a resounding victory. Gets worse. Bellakor does a real funny. So he starts he gets out there, and it's time to make waves. Bellakor in fantasy is where he's a character and not just something they mention so you buy his model. Bellakor and the Slann start going head to head, and the Slann beat one of his schemes, but it was one of those we beat you but not actually, doesn't matter, because in that the Slann destroy a realm gate, which has a cascading effect on destroying more realm gates and letting chaos pour through. So now when the Stormcast die, they don't resurrect, because how it normally works is in a bolt of lightning they flash off and Sigmar gets back to hammering. Now they just get sucked into the realm of chaos. So that's a problem. And and I believe the Celestin Prime himself even finally gets slain at this point by Lady Allender, one of Nagash's Mortarchs. So the losing streak has begun properly.
Jeez.
To make up for the fact that people didn't like the Stormcast at first, they've started kicking them in the ribs.
Jesus Christ.
It is the Kharadron overlords and Grugni himself that kind of arrive, push back Bellakor's forces, and start working on ways to undo this problematic feature. Because an entire storm host was given to Lady Allender, another one was just wiped out completely. And the last kind of book was there was some Stormcast in the free city of Excelsis. Saying that name makes me struggle. I don't know why. Where the Stormcast part in this was basically the Celestin Prime put Morathi on trial for being awful and herself. It didn't really work, because out of all people, Grugni told the Celestin Prime to just... now's not the time. We got bigger problems. Now's not the time for a trial. So the Stormcast were losing their fights. They've their respawn ability has been hindered, and now a dwarf god is telling them to let go of a grudge. Boy, is it a bad time to be collecting the poster boys?
That's crazy. So before we get any further, should we go through the donors that we have, just so we don't go too fast?
Sure.
Cassidy Cheese, 199.
Cassidy Cheese.
They need Stormcast Zangors, bro.
That's right, they do. That's right, they do. You tell them.
Unhinged behavior.
I still think we need the ogres to be the Storm Gut Eternals. I think that'd be better. Donkey Man USA. Polnareff got done dirty. Yes, he did. We don't mention that episode.
Look, Polnareff got done dirty, but Polnareff was also the main character of part 3. So
yeah.
Panda Wizard. Thank you for the 79,000 IDR. I wonder what currency that is. AOS
IDR is.
God Eater's Son is one of the best Warhammer books in general I've ever read. I highly recommend it. Might be the best Chaos POV book. Well, thank you.
Ooh,
it is
high praise.
Indonesian Rupiah.
Wow.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah.
From Indonesia. That's crazy.
Nylog. There's been a second me for the profile picture.
$5
Canadian dollars. Excuse me, do y'all not love our small hooven benefactors? They are so dope. I adore ungulates so much. These beasts do no wrong. Expect the fuckskin taper.
Wow.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
man.
I don't know the lore very well.
Bean, $2. Gamers never die. They respawn. Sigmar, probably.
And my hope will never die.
We're all Sigmarines now.
Yeah, guys, this is an original idea. I'm thinking about making a Call of Duty montage with like dubstep music. I don't think anyone's done
but you need to have only the Snoop Dogg announcement lines in it as well. Yeah.
Yo, guys, you know what's really cooking right now? We should do some Overwatch funny moments.
Oh my god, man!
You can't play Overwatch. Overwatch 2 is the only game you can
What
play
if
now.
instead I start a shotgun?
What the
Who wants
heck?
the cheese?
Overwatch funny moments. That's a crazy thing to say.
Welcome
What's wrong
back.
with this guy?
Welcome back 2017, dude.
What is that? 10 years ago, nearly. God.
I was in the trenches of Overwatch season 1.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
Me too.
I'm not
Yeah,
proud of
Reinhardt
it,
made.
I was.
Thank you, Cassidy Cheese, for the 199. I'm gonna drink your souls like a sippy cup, Nagash. Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Techless's bad brass bowl 1-to-1 scale Parox trademark dildo.
Thank you.
65 CK.
Wow.
I'm stuck with this name for a few more days. Oh my god. Until I can make it Eli's most excessively hung Onion stable bowl.
Crazy, man.
As
Crazy.
I feel Big Colin has a monopoly.
Big
Excessively hung is a term
That's
I don't
a
use very
funny thing
often.
to say.
Lord.
Big
That's
Colin.
good.
Do you reckon
Oh
that
my
peasant
God.
would have to carry one of the relics?
Oh,
Drag it behind
nasty.
The peanut carrier. Oh my gosh.
Third leg flopping in the wind.
Mr. Tripod.
Oh man, that's an image. Where were we,
my
Colin? We just had it.
I'm too busy thinking about. I'm sorry.
I think it was we did Bellakor's.
Yeah, so that's
Bruno.
happened. So now it comes on to the Age of Beasts, which is when that new Kragnos mini, right before when he came out, and Beastmen players thought they were about to be eating before GW removed them from Age of Sigmar. Even after all these losses, no one is worse off than Beastmen players.
Nope.
They've kind of had to pull back a little bit. Things are not being great because for one, Stormcast can be reforged. It takes a lot of effort to do that. That's not like a little like let's just throw another 50 out there. It takes some time and work. So Sigmar's kind of realizing that if I don't figure out how to fix this, I'm going to lose them all to just losses over time. So, Grugni at this point, because when Grugni came back, I briefly mentioned him earlier, he had just kind of pissed off from even the Reforging chambers. Like, he just left. Now that he's back, though, Sigmar's like, hey, can you help me out a bit, man? I'm having some trouble. So, it's time for a new chamber, which means new models. And him and Grugni, they get back to the forges for a bit. And they start working on a new 8. What the hell?
Excuse me.
I don't know what that word was. It wasn't English. A new way, a new kind of armor to help try and punch through the chaos clouds that are darkening the skies. And this becomes the Thunderstrike chamber, which is basically what happens
when Colin's on the toilet.
Thunderstrike chamber.
Well, you see, when they die, they blow up really hard. And it clears the chaos clouds enough for the Stormcast to go back to a 0.
Bro,
that's crazy.
What the heck? What are you talking about?
A second Stormcast has been slain. Yeah.
You're losing me. You're losing me.
What do you mean? That's the cool. I don't care. I think that's.
You telling
cool,
me?
But it's fun.
You telling me these Stormcast they fought on their roommate's door and they
did not do that. I think that is.
What was that video again, just for fun? It's just the bit.
Pull that up. Pull that up.
It's just the bit where the guy's like, "Did you see that little light move?"
It's been 2 years, Hal.
It's
been 2 years,
funny.
Bro.
It's still funny.
That's
I'm not grown up.
I watch it every day when he wakes up.
Seriously, man.
I'm just imagining these bloody Stormcast, like they just like the people had like the Vine sound effect or something. The Vine boom when every time they go near chaos corruption.
What, The Rock? Dwayne?
Oh my gosh.
I like to think it's just like a pure bass boost sound effect. Fuck you. I think that's funny. I like that. No, it's fun. I'm sorry someone let fun into my Warhammer.
So the Stormcast are puffing it, really aggressive Thunder style. And
everyone like, oh, he's fucking stupid Iron Warrior loyalist when he blows up the Pharaohs. Oh, that's really cool. But someone does it on purpose, and it's a problem. Man, I'm bitter and angry.
He baby mad.
I am baby mad. Once they've kind of they didn't really fix the problem. They just kind of slapped a band-aid on it. But that's a problem for later. They also, and this, if you don't accept this next bit is cool, I think I just hate all of you. They now the next range of minis was they now have little like demi-dragon mounts, the Dracolith, or what are they called? Draconith, pardon me. Those are those like dragon mounts. They were eggs from the big dragon that had hatched the mortal realms, basically. The Stormcast, they now ride dragons into battle, which that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
And with that, they've kind of it was a little bit more of a. They started playing it more safe, right? There's no they pulled back on the assaulting Archaon's house strategy, and with the Dawnbringer Crusades, was a lot more lower key kind of stuff, a bit more supportive and defending. And no longer is instead of them marching forth and then the cities of Sigmar mortals walk behind them to support, they're kind of working in tandem now. The Stormcast are helping defend cities as they get set up. They move forward once they're fully confident they've got a nice garrison and they can come back to help at a moment's notice if needed. It's a slow and steady wins the race was kind of the theme of the Dawnbringer Crusades. It's a much slower assault. It's a little bit more calm. There's other things, some other things going on. For example, Stormcast, they've been reforged a lot of times now. We're 3 editions of the game in. That's a lot of. That's like 8 years of Warhammer of Stormcast dying in lore pretty constantly. So one thing they can do is the Souls of Willing Stormcast, who they're done. They still want to help out, but they've been reforged like 4 times at this point. They're out. They want to quit. They can sacrifice their souls to form a magical bridge to help anchor Stormcast souls. So that way, even if they don't have that the lightning magical armor that blows up and clears away chaos, they can still kind of go to one of these bridges if they die relatively close. So it's a much more, like I said, slow and steady. Storm keeps, because of course that's what their fortresses are called. They're building more of those. They're trying to work more on like fighting side, the mortals and various other armies of the mortal realms. They're much less now Sigmar sucker punching you in the face with a super soldier, and more of a let's march out. Let's work in tandem with everyone else. The age of us, breaching out of the realm gates is over. Let's take it easy now. Let's go slow and steady. And it was doing good work. Obviously, nothing is perfect in Warhammer. The Cruel Boys, this is about the time that army came out. So depending on where they're at, they might march into a swampy area of a mortal realm and get jumped by 50 Uruk-hai.
That's a weird direction. They look cool.
I don't know. It's weird for Warhammer standards, but they do look more like Tolkien orcs, and I find I can't have it in me to dislike that as even just like a small army you can take like that. I just think that's neat, right? So it's looking up a little bit, and then GW realized it'd been 2 editions since the Skaven did something funny. So if you remember that trailer where Skaven Blight itself erupted out of the ground across every reality, they did that. So you're a Stormcast, right? You're chilling out. You're guarding this, the Dongbringer Crusades. They've done well. You're hanging out defending the realm. What if 6 trillion rats upon your house?
The glorious Vermintide returns.
They're back. So they I mean, that's just what that is. This is the problem they have to now deal with. And this is kind of the current where it's at. So there's not as much on it because, this is like the latest thing with AOS. Sigmar, once again, open another chamber. I need more. I need more Marines. Pot of Grief. This one is it's called the Ruination Chamber, which is this is for the Stormcast who you've died just too many times. There is almost nothing left of your soul, which up to now had just been kind of like you just kind of turned into a lightning geist. That's just kind of a problem. Sorry for you, man. You can join the Starbridge if you want. Otherwise, you're just like a lightning spirit in armor at this point. The Ruination Chamber is those. It's kind of like the death companies of the Stormcast. A little bit less murderous. They don't see, like Archaon and go insane. But it's those warriors whose souls are basically whittled away to their own special chamber to, because they're pure lightning, they're kind of a little bit tougher, immune to all of the random crap the Skaven bring out when they fight. Because this fighting a Skaven and Skaven infested territory is, imagine fighting like a Fallout super mutant in the middle of Chernobyl, and that's kind of about what they do to the surrounding landscape when they show up.
Are these the silver ones, or am I completely?
Yeah, the silver ones were kind of the
So I remember they released a whole new model range, and they're like, but these ones aren't gold; they're silver.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whoa, I wonder why.
It's gold. So this also came with once again, I'm torn between giving them credit and viewing it as the most cynical thing ever. I just take it whichever way you want, depending on how nice you are to AOS. The first squatting, the Stormcast getting a bunch of their models taken away and stolen to Legends, was in lore Sigmar pulling back that Sacrosanct chamber because their absence, the reforging issues, kind of got worse because they were helping out as well. And with them gone on the battlefield, the problems were a lot worse. So he pulled back most of that chamber, which in real life terms, most of those models got taken away from you being able to buy and play outside of Legends. And It's about where we're at.
Many
So,
such cases.
Sigmar is now hurting lightning monsters at his enemies because Stormcast are in a bit of a rough spot.
With that though, there is some cool sort of small bits to add on, which is Stormcast are not like, so probably many of us are familiar obviously with Space Marines, but in the way like a Space Marine is like a super soldier that's kind of, I guess, indoctrinated into the Imperial ways, and it's, you know, they cannot fathom other things. The Stormcast, I guess in some sense, I don't know if there's ever been a Stormcast that's like fall into chaos, Colin. Have you? I don't think there
Not
has
yet.
Yet.
There is there is some stuff where a fella who was a redeemed Stormcast is making his own storm host out of similarly redeemed Stormcast. The other Stormcast are a little bit suspicious of that guy and his storm host because, you know, you couldn't have felt chaos. You had a lot of Nurgle in you. What are you doing over there? But to my knowledge, as of yet, no Stormcast has fallen to chaos.
Oh, I got better. I had Nurgle, but I got better.
Which, you know, Sigmar's power flows through their veins. I imagine that's quite the vaccine against chaos.
Though I would say the way that Space Marines and Stormcast are kind of polar opposites, because Stormcast are handpicked from the greatest heroes who fought in the mortal realms. Even though Space Marines are like 1 in 1,000 success rate, never forget they are mass produced. These guys are, it's like, oh, just because 1,000 people died to create one Space Marine, that's only because we don't care about killing civilians or having massive loss of life. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just put them in the meat grinder. For all the talk of these seneschals of human prowess, it's like, yeah, they're also just put into the meat grinder like everyone else. Like, they just dress it up really nicely. Whereas Stormcast, as far as I'm aware of their lore, is just like, nah, this was like a particular like Chad fella. And we're like, we're not letting him die. Oh, he'd be well good in gold. Let's put him in some cool armor.
I like that Time Pirate says they're like legit D&D paladins, which is quite apt. And the way it explains it is like Sigmar will usually, like, I guess there's no corrupt ones yet, because obviously Sigmar can analyze like who they are and then who they are in their soul. So he kind of picks people who he knows are not gonna get corrupted. Fun thing though, sometimes it just straight up doesn't work. Like, they can pick someone from death, but like they just can't be made into a Stormcast. So just not everyone will make it through. They are. I think it was some of them could be up to 9 feet tall, which is ridiculous.
What the heck?
And it says like an average height. An average height is like 7'6". Some of them bigger ones are like 8 foot something, but it could be. I think obviously the Celestant Prime is probably 9 foot tall. So they are ginormous.
Oh, dude, he's a big lad.
Yeah, and the way they explain, like, the Stormcast are not like, they are superhumans, but they're kind of, I guess it's like a copy of their original person, like who they are. And they can still, like, they're not immune, like how a Space Marine's immune to fear through psycho conditioning. A Stormcast is not immune to fear. It's very difficult to make a Stormcast be afraid, but it's not impossible, which is interesting. So they're a bit more human than you'd think a Space Marine is in some sense.
Yeah, it's I think it was Josh Reynolds before he was told by GW to go away or whatever happened there. I think he said like I think out of universe, he said like the difference between like a Space Marine and Stormcast is like it's the difference between, you know, Batman and Superman, or like Batman and Captain America. Like, you know, yeah, they both fight the big bad guys, they both fight chaos, but you wouldn't call Batman and Captain America copies.
But also Space Marines are made of completely mortal materials and methods. Stormcast get to like have a bit of their god involved in like creating them. It's like we profess to serve the Emperor, but reasonably most Space Marine chapters are atheistic. They're like, I don't think he's a god. I think he's just a very powerful psyker, apart from the Black Templars and a few others. But it's like we are all made by science and technology Stormcast is like, I'm gonna put some lightning in your body. Like, oh, where's that coming from? That's some secret source I've never heard about.
From God.
Yeah. I met him once. Yeah, no big deal.
They're also, it's the thing, like Space Marine aspirants, right? There's always some like trial they have to go through, right? Like to make sure, like even like if you make it through, even before like the gene seed and everything's implanted, even if they didn't do that, you'd probably like a kick-ass warrior would probably still come out of that, right? Even if they just were like, we're not actually going to put all the organs and stuff in you, but you're really cool. We'll something like that. Being like a warrior is not a criteria to be a Stormcast Sigma, because the thing is, right, you can make someone kick ass. Sigma, he's taking your soul and turning you into an 8-foot tall demigod. You can work on the kick ass after that. Sigmar's looking for like, you died heroically, like usually against chaos, but if you're fighting off like an orc horde or something, that counts. One of them, for example, Gardas Steel Soul, which that's a cool name. He was just a doctor, and when he like all he did, like his heroic act was he was just like 2 hours of sleep, back to healing the defenders. Back when chaos was assaulting where he was at, he's like, get back in the fight. Like his heroic thing was just healing the people fighting against all odds, no matter what was going on. And hell, he did have to fight at one point. But he was a doctor. He's not trained.
Yeah.
He just picked up some like candlesticks and tried to beat Chaos Warriors over the head with it, which didn't work. But Sigmar was like, I can make you kick ass, but you've already got the spirit. That's what I want.
And the thing is, they're also barring entry to only righteous people, morally righteous people. Whereas, like you said about failed aspirants, there's a failed aspirant in Marneus Calgar's origin story who tried to be an Ultramarine. He went through some of the trials, but he failed midway. And so then he becomes a trainer for the children who will become Ultramarine aspirants. And in his story, he falls to chaos. He becomes a Khornate worshipper, and he's sacrificing the aspirants on an altar of Khor. So, that's not good. Like if you fail, but you'd also get people like Caleb Aaron from the Death Guard who became a Housecarl and was morally good. But it's not a guarantee. Just because you became a Space Marine or attempted to become a Space Marine doesn't mean you're a good person. Whereas, you are not allowed to be a Stormcast unless you are like the equivalent of a martyr or a saint, I suppose.
My slight favorite detail, kind of with he'll probably be his own episode one day with Mr. Hamilcar Bear-Eater, who basically is like the reincarnation of Sigmar in some sense. They sort of meant
basically.
Yeah.
Hamilcar is Star-Lord for Warhammer. It's like, I'm Hamilcar. Who? Yeah.
He mentions how some of because with Stormcast, a lot of them are from civilization / human, cities, empires, whatever, that have fallen. So lots of them are essentially people who are out of time in a sense. Like some of them, they speak languages that they're probably the last person who will ever speak it. They come from places, they have weird traditions of thing. Like the people who are.
Sorry.
You guys are good. You go ahead.
So, especially the ones from like the Age of Myth and the Chaos that he just kind of slurped from a last stand. It's like that tribe had 50 people in it, and Sigmar grabbed one. It's kind of just them from it now.
Yeah, so they are quite unique in terms of like some of them have traditions that are just like they are totally lost because the people they came from are gone. So they are weird. Again, they feel like they are strange, out of time people in some sense. But it depends on the Stormcast, because it has a Space Marine problem with a lot of them, that some of them can be very much, because they are super soldier, they've lost their connection to what normal people think like. But then other ones do understand it. Like, again, we'll talk about him, Mr. Hamilcar Bear-Eater, who is like a roaring barbarian king, just like, Sigmar was in his real life. And he understands how to inspire mortal people. But other ones just don't get it, because they're like, what do you mean? We're the ones meant to do the fighting, not the weak people. And like, no, it's not like that. So there has some variation. Like, again, like none of them are the same at all, really. They're all basically weird grabbed super soldiers. Guys are good?
Hamilcar might be one of the only people in Warhammer having fun.
Yeah, although in his book he gets tortured quite a lot.
Oh, and he doesn't go through it. Just like, you know, that like his animation, right? He seems to be just kind of walking up like, I'm Hamilcar. Who the hell?
There's the great bit where he's doing the stuff in that animation though. The other Stormcasts are watching from like a hill, and one of them goes, "Is he dead?" And the other one goes, "Not yet." And there's like, you can tell from the way he says it, he's really intrigued about what's going on, but he's also like, I'm not counting him out, but he should be dead. But he's not dead yet. Oh, okay. Where's this going? You're like, you guys.
Yeah, despite like
goobies.
Despite the tone in Age of Sigmar is much more like, I don't know if it's like, I guess, grimdark, but it is very like,
it's more,
you know, we're losing. It is like the world was once amazing and we're losing. But
it's not as miserable as 40K, but it is again the backdrop of AOS is chaos kind of beat the shit out of everyone for 100 years straight.
Yeah, so everyone's a little bit like, again, not all the Stormcast, you know, they're in the midst of like a long war, so it is very difficult and obviously very dour. You know, many of the outposts of different civilizations and different realms is basically falling apart, and they're constantly undermanned. But you know, again, they're not all depressing, like, you know, and then we just serve Sigmar rule, you know, because Sigmar's not himself depressing at all. He is like, I'll 100% fist fight someone, chug a beer, and then make a tactical map and play with my little toy soldiers, you know. So they reflect their God King. They're all very.
Sigmar was literally like, I'm just going to tell people that I haven't perfected the process. Meanwhile, in reality, he had a pile of shame he hadn't finished.
The interesting part, like,
I'll get round to it.
I think it's implied as well that Stormcast, unlike in 40K with Space Marines, who will never, most of the, 99.9%, in fact, basically all of them have never seen the Emperor. Most of them have seen Sigmar, not like necessarily spoken to him, but they've probably been in the same room as him, or like been in a feasting hall with him, or seen him, or some of them have spoken to him.
Or a minimum, they remember that time they shat themselves when Nagash was holding them, like in that trailer, and then he yoinked them away. He's like, thanks.
I didn't want to be a fucking Bone Reaper.
Yeah, so like they've generally like seen their, and even they acknowledge, like they even say like they know Sigmar's not perfect, which is an interesting dynamic. They don't think Sigmar's perfect, but he is, he's that guy. He's the guy. So, they are, again, part of him. They are loyal to him. A part of him is always with them, and they rely on that power. But, again, it's a bit of a lose some because they are slowly losing who they are. But, it is they already died before. So I guess it's another chance just to do something again, life after death sort of thing. But they're very cool. Some of their equipment as well, which is, I had to double check this because I still makes me laugh. I think it's called Sigmarite, isn't it?
It is called Sigmarite, and what it is bits of like the core of the Warhammer fantasy world. Because incidentally, at least in Azir, if you look up, the core of the world is just kind of there. They mine it to make the Stormcast armor, which does technically make it a finite resource, but it's also, the core of a planet. I think they've got plenty to go around still. It'll probably be at least a couple more editions before we're going to be running out of Sigmarite.
Be like, all of them don't necessarily, because of who they are in lifestyle, not everyone wants to use the same weapon because, not like a Space Marine, they're assigned stuff like that. They can actually have things. There's even in Hamilcar's own book, Sigmar like reforges equipment for him in the star, and then interesting enough, unlike chapters in Space Marines, which is there's always going to be an Ultramarines chapter or Iron Hands or God forbid what's the backup for Ultramarines Genesis chapter or anything like that.
I love it.
There'll always be those ones, but the storm hosts are often based around a particular Stormcast who's essentially either through great effort or great deed, they have become a Lord Celestin. Oh, no, sorry, not Lord Celestin, Lord Castellan. and then they essentially build around them. So they basically lead their own, and they get to name their own hosts. And like Hamilcar's Bear Eaters were the Bear Eaters because he was Hamilcar Bear Eater. But then other points, the different hosts become different things based off of who the Stormcast Castellan is essentially leading them. So they are very much like elite squadrons that are based around a particular leader, essentially. Very, very cool.
Yeah. They like there's a and there is like those different storm hosts, like they do have I mean, like it's like the Space Marines. Like it's the out of universe reason is to give you all the colors and lore you want to paint your little dudes. But I mean that's not a bad thing. That's why we have, all the Space Marines we do, because we like more cool lore for our little dudes. I hope that's not a shocking statement to anyone here. Andy, you're muted.
Sorry, I was going to say all 400 something of them, which I've almost killed.
Crazy, man.
Like
this Sunday.
Some of them are kind of like, some of the stuff is out there. Like I like the Celestial Vindicators Storm Host because they worship a being that is like the 12 Runefang swords of the Empire of fantasy all combined into one, which is like, what? How did that, like, I don't know. It's just like it's like, I like those little things like there where it's like just something little neat, like where it's like you can do what you want for the lore. It's out there, make your own stuff for it. Here's this cool little beat, and figure out how you want to handle it. There's stuff like that. And again, the Hammers of Sigmar are the GW couldn't hold themselves back. The blue and gold poster boys of the setting and the super armor. I wonder where that came from. Although I guess in this case, the gold is the most prominent and blue is the least prominent. But I still know what you are, Hammers of Sigmar. You can't hide from me, Matt Ward. Yeah, there's a lot of different storm hosts to go from. I think back Josh Reynolds, thank you for giving me the superhero comparison. A lot of them view like the people under them like, it's like Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility, right? Space Marines, they tend to view themselves as their own thing, right? Like they are above the common man. Not all of them, but I feel it's a pretty correct general statement to say that most Space Marines view themselves very apart from common humanity. Whereas, like I said, like Spider-Man, the Stormcast, like we certainly have more
friendly neighborhoods Stormcast. Like, oh, okay.
We certainly have more power. We're certainly like going on tougher things than you, but we have the responsibility to use that well. And you can find plenty of Stormcasts just as rulers, as dignitaries in cities, like officials just doing things, which again, there's been a lot of Space Marine lore. You can find some of that every now and again, but like with the Stormcast, that's more of the standard. And
to be fair, a Stormcast could live an entire lifetime as a regular human, then become a Stormcast. There's nothing normal about growing up as a Space Marine. It's like, oh, you're 5, right? Let's put you in the globulo machine, make you into a naughty super soldier. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
for the rest of my life.
Yeah, or some 90-year-old guy who's been like the mayor of a town for his whole life, and he gets sucked into being a Stormcast because as he was, right before he would have died, he charges a Chaos Lord, just like, I'm 90 and I'm going to give you what for. Sigmar's going to be like, that guy's pretty cool. But, when he reforges, he's going to be like, well, yeah, I need you to fight Chaos. But, when you're not doing that, go be a mayor. You clearly know how to do it.
You charged a Chaos Lord with a butter knife? Fair play.
Like,
you're a Stormcast.
I want you. There are, also, there's still some of the angry ones. There was one storm host who I believe this actually broke one of the chains binding Slaanesh, what they did, because they did the classic, I don't know who in here is a chaos worshiper. Kill them all. So that did a bit of an oopsie and broke one of Slaanesh's chains. But that does also mean, again, if you want that, you do want the grimdark, like brutal warriors who just slaughter everything in their way because there is no such thing as innocence. You can still find that in the Stormcast, and they're still there. But overall, they're a little bit more like lighter, like high fantasy in tone. Still, again, it's still Warhammer. All of the Warhammers are a rough place to be, but it's less brutal overall. There's more room for hope.
Slightly.
Still slightly. It's still, like you said, even in the funny in Hamilcar, the funny man's book, spends a lot of time getting tortured.
Oh my god, that poor guy. I think So is anything more common? I think obviously so far.
I don't know. It's what are some other things? Anyone can be a Stormcast. I think they've never confirmed it, but it's one of those things. I don't know how much I want to say, but it wouldn't be completely lore breaking if you were bored and were like, you know what? I'm giving all my Stormcast dwarf heads. Because hey, Grungi was helping Sigmar reforge them. Could be a few where Grungi was like, hey, I like dwarfs.
I think it's that they think that they're all humans, but then in the Hamilcar book, he says that's what you think, but you don't know that. No one's ever told you that it's only been human souls. It just must be like because of where they are. / human souls are obviously easier for Sigmar, I think, to assess in some sense.
Or it could even be where it's like Sigmar, like something the reforging process turns them into a human. Could even be that. Although I would very much love to see, in the bottom of my heart, an orc Stormcast. Sigmar gets pretty good.
I think with that, though, we might have a few was there last few donos, Andy, before?
Oh, wait, I didn't talk. Oh, wait. There are also, just one last thing. There are a lot of different Stormcast Eternal characters. Balthus Aurum, my beloved, the man, the myth, the legend. He swears he's from the world that was, because he's a Stormcast wizard with a really strong connection to the Wind of Gold, who rides a mount named Quicksilver in Age of Sigmar, and found a library with a bunch of knowledge on the old world, and remembered himself before anything else scamming a taxi driver. Welcome back, Balthasar Gelt.
Nice.
He is still a piece of shit.
Brother in Sigmar is still going. I think
there's room for that too.
Was there any more donors, Andy, before the end?
There was a couple.
The Andy's on
Starting off with that's fine. Starting off with the first of 6 or so. Limper 106 for 5. If the plan involves you dying, it's time to rethink the plan. True.
This man would not make it in the Imperial Guard. Not.
Christopher Steves, thank you for the $5. If you like a Stormcast novels that makes you feel bad and connect to the Stormcast condition, I suggest the Scaven Tide novel and the Ancients.
Cool.
It was even in like that short story, like as much as everyone's gonna like it because it's Balthasar Gelt and the jangly keys are dangling in front of you, like look at the funny man, he's back. It does show that even like some of the Stormcast, like especially the ones who were reforged from souls from fantasy, they don't feel whole because they know they were someone else, but it's been an entire infinite reality and setting change away. So it's getting like a little bit more hopeful, like, which does leave room for more stuff, but it's also like they're super soldiers in eternal war, and as much as some people saying them dying just take away the stakes, which I do to some extent understand, it does also mean that at least when a Space Marine dies, the dude can be done. A Stormcast dies, and it's like, I need you to go fight Archaon again.
Unless your GTN doesn't apply.
Unless you're a dreadnought, then it's like in the coffin. Okay.
I look over to the chat one time and I see Nilok again saying, "I respect an insane lesbian." Whoa, what is going on?
I don't know what they're talking about in chat, bro.
Is it a Warhammer thing, or
I don't. Chat's just been like talking about random stuff.
Feral
for the last,
They've been
for the last
feral.
hour.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at what is happening here.
Nick Knack 3587 for $5. Thank you so much, man. Hey guys, what's one thing each of you like about your least favorite faction? No backhanded comments or insults, Hal. Genuine things you
Wow.
like.
I mean, I can take the charge if everyone else needs time to think.
Sure.
Go for it.
If knights are cool, I'll give Bretonnia credit. There's a reason people can stomach them, even though that's the only thing that knights are cool.
Mhm.
And look, a Bretonian army, if painted well, should look like a Skittles like package, but knightly. It's like you got 50 different heraldry streams going on. No one has a uniform because it's 50 different knights from their vassals showing up. You know what? A cavalry charge looks cool. I'll give them credit. There's a reason, they've got drip.
I'm not a fan of Tau, but I can say that the Riptide is kind of fun. And I respect that they try to do a Halo killer, even though nothing can kill Halo other than itself.
Yep.
Eli?
Tau tanks.
I don't know, because the concept of custodies are really cool. Custodies themselves are generally pretty neat, and I mean, can't hate that much on a extremely powerful super soldier guy thing. I don't know. Their 1 trillion names is kind of neat. There's cool stuff about custodies. Their main characters generally do pretty cool stuff.
And I was going through the Armated Ladybug, and it's like Longinus being like, I spend most of my time thinking about how I can kill the Emperor. I'm like, oh yeah, that's like an interesting quote. Like, yeah, I spend most of my time thinking about how can I kill the guy in charge, because that's how I protect him.
The blood games are cool too.
I saw someone, it was like some goofy comic, but it made me laugh really hard because it was like a comic of the blood games. And it was like a funny comic, like not serious. It was like the Emperor was like, I bet you waited like 40 years. How long did you wait for the perfect moment? And he was like, oh no, I didn't here to kill you. Malkador sent me to say a message, and the message was just, you lost the game.
Awesome.
Which that made me giggle. I'll give that one.
God, I'm trying so hard not to think of a backhanded way of.
I already know.
Oh my gosh, this guy.
What's your
guy.
What's your least
really
favorite?
Difficult.
What's your least favorite faction, first of all?
He stuttered. Yeah, he couldn't even get the name out without.
Unsurprising.
Well,
I was thinking leaks.
I like the idea that there's some faction that AI, Men of Iron or like these supercomputer AI things is still present within the 40k verse. I hope they delve more into that side of it and less into the Norse dwarf thing, because that's already done. And I think that's the most interesting part of it. I like the idea because it's very reminiscent of like it's the book Neuromancer. If anyone has read that, classic 80s cyberpunk inspiration. Give me a bit more cyberpunk inspired AI themes and I'll be pretty gassed. I think that's a cool starting place they've got for it.
They've already got.
That was really tough.
I know they've got the carriage, but I kind of like the hyper like materialist, like Stellaris super materialist empire vibe they got going. I know
truck. Big truck is fun. Big truck is fun.
Look, I know above all else, I still think unholster the means of negotiation is the hardest line in 40k. So I gotta give the Leagues of Otan credit for that one.
And them jackets. Those jackets are good.
Can't hate
it. Christopher Steves, and you're the $5.
Thank you.
In the Ancients, they do have a handful of Stormcasts that just straight up defy Sigmar's will, or at least Stormcast High Command's will.
Yeah, because they're their own people. There's not really, that Sigmar does, he does tamper with them a little bit, but not enough to. It's not like Space Marine level hypo indoctrination. It's like I see you died charging 1v100 bloodthirsters. We're gonna pull back on the bravery just a tad. It's like that. Or like
we're gonna go back to the stat screen and respec because you're a bit too crazy.
Like we're gonna bring the bravery from like down to 10 from the 100 it was at.
That's why he doesn't bring across all of their memories. So clearly the parts he doesn't like, he leaves behind.
Sigmar,
there is some stuff, but yeah.
He's like, you're doing too much. I'm going to put 100 points into adaptability. You can dodge roll better.
Dark Souls 2, but greatest game of the Soul series.
St. Wagons, good name. 4.99. Wow, very cool Sigmarines. Anyway, I'm gonna paint Synthwave Soulblight as God intended.
Wow, dude, sounds pretty cool.
I can't fault you for that. The mortal realms belong to Nagash. That's simply how it is.
Donkey Man USA, thank you for the $5. I have an extreme amount of rum in my system. I'm going to meander about my city. Godspeed. Godspeed to you, Donkey Man.
Do it safely.
Be safe.
Do it safely, but also
be safe.
Very few things are as spiritually fulfilling as a 2 a.m. walk home from a drunken bar that takes 3 hours.
Especially if you're shouting sea chanties like, "Yay, he's full of rum."
Get the filthiest kebab or wherever you are, like White Castle or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm talking, you know, the meal is so good, you have to eat it in like your underwear. Because if
what? Wait, guys, we have a sequel from the Rum Man, the man who's rum.
You know what I mean? You're like,
wow,
you're pissed drunk, and then you're getting ready for bed, but you're hungry. So you've got the McDonald's, you got everything set up, you eat in your underwear, you're just munching away.
Usually, if I'm drunk, I don't I just fall asleep in my clothes.
I've never been pissed drunk, and I've also never been ready for bed and then eat McDonald's after that.
No, bro. It's like having a beer in the shower. I'm on to something. Okay.
I've also not done that.
All right, no, that one I can't fault. Sometimes
I can understand.
Look, if you're there for a party weekend, you got to start 11 a.m. Clean yourself, take a sip, clean yourself, take another sip.
I have an idea about doing Lorecrimes drunk history lore episode. I think only me and Colin will be willing. So
give it a month when I'm at my own house and I don't need to worry about shaming my family.
Simcon with some nice words. Thank you for the $2. Love you guys. Love the vids. You are supreme. Thank you. You are supreme.
You are supreme.
We love you.
Thank you. You are supreme. More of metal. Love it.
No, I think there's one more. Oh no!
I'm a couple. Incoming backup for 15 squigglies. As a soldier of the Stormcast, honestly, are a pretty great metaphor for how fighting and war erode you. Genuinely a pretty simple but clever analogy.
True.
Yeah.
War never changes unless
war is heck.
Unless you are an 8-foot lightning man, then it changes slightly. Yeah. And the last one.
Jesus, that name needs to change.
I'll pray for you, brother.
Praying for you, man.
Has humor. Damn, man. $2. Someone quick, fetch Donkey Man's car keys.
Driving in my car right after a beer.
Yeah,
2 bourbons, 1 scotch, and 1 beer.
Can everyone in chat give a salute or an encouragement for Donkey Man USA who's going out tonight? He's
safe travels. Be safe.
Yes. Safe travel. And
no joke. Be safe.
I'm not condoning it, but hearing another human being sing the words DUI, how about you die? Don't drink and drive.
Don't do it.
Thank you. Thank you all for the donations. You're very
man. You guys are so generous. Thank you. I think with that being said, though, I think that might be it. Is it? What?
The message Donkey Man just said.
What is that?
Alcoholics don't run in my family; they drive.
Thank you, Donkey Man.
I'm
to go, Donkey Man.
And Drub.
Oh, crazy stuff, man. But we will all again. I don't know what we're doing next week. We might have a guest on soon. Not saying who though. And we'll see you guys all very, very soon. Again, thank you guys for listening, for watching. Again, join the Discord if you want to. I think people are they doing a list, something about listening along?
They usually hang. Wow, we're streaming.
Some people hang out, yeah. Or I see. Oh, I just seen my face snap picture. All right, see you guys very soon. Love you all.
Bye, everybody.
Oh God.